This is a screenshot of a Facebook ads campaign for a local business. And this is a screenshot for a Facebook ads campaign for a multi-million-dollar brand. We did the exact same Facebook campaign strategy and architecture. And we do this for brands in lead gen, small mom and pop shops, e-commerce, SaaS companies, and more. So whether you're running Facebook ads for your own business or for multiple clients, this video is going to be extremely helpful for you. Hi, my name is Charlie. I'm founder of Disrupt Your School. And we do things a little bit differently here. If you've been paying attention to everybody else and those strategies and tactics and hacks just aren't working, remember kids, it's because they don't give a about you. But we do. We're gonna try to set you up for more success and less stress so that you never need them ever again. So let's start by understanding the basics. What exactly does it mean to be scaling in Facebook? And it's not necessarily just spending more money. The first and honestly more important thing is to understand how to scale your efficiency, make your money work harder, get more incremental lift. You don't have to spend more money to make more money if you spend your money smarter. And the second thing is to understand where to put your money so that you get more revenue for the dollar spent, not just throwing money in something in Facebook because the result looks good on the platform. So let's get ready to scale the account. Now, before we just add budget, we got to understand a few key performance indicators, some KPIs. The number one most important thing, what is your blended CPA? How much does it cost across your entire business to get a transaction? This is far more important than what Facebook attribution says, your third-party tool, because this is what your actual money out, money in looks like. Scaling efficiency is all about getting the margin between this blended CPA and your average order value to be higher. Scaling your spend is all about taking some of that margin and investing it in growing the volume of transactions that you get. Now, when we're looking inside of our Facebook ad account, we're going to be really tempted to say, well, this ad has a CPA of X and this ad has a CPA of Y. But what really matters is that blended CPA low enough for us to spend more money? If that blended CPA is low enough, then we can go ahead and just add budget. However, if it's not, then we need to scale efficiency. So let's get into how to do that. So in trying to scale our efficiency, we can really look at three different things. We can spend our money where we're most efficient. We can try bidding strategies to try to suppress that CPA, or we can try to do targeting hacks to make sure that the best customers see our ad. So when we're talking about using audiences, we have to remember that the most stable audience is the one that we can scale the most. And the best audience is broad targeting. That is age, gender, and location. That's it. When you're using lookalike groups and interest groups and retargeting audiences, we're likely to get a good result right away, but it's going to fade very fast. And if it's not stable, we won't be able to scale. So let's get rid of all of these short-term hacks that are preventing the future and the success that we deserve. The second most popular way of hacking your CPA and suppressing it is with cost caps and bid caps and manual bidding. And while this can make the platform look great, it doesn't necessarily have the same impact on our blended CPA, and that happens for two reasons. First, when you set a cost cap, that doesn't mean you're actually going to spend that budget. So there's no way for you to know how much money you're going to spend, how many products you're going to sell, or what that cost per acquisition is going to be on any given day. The other problem is that Facebook is going to serve these ads to people who are far further down in the funnel, meaning that these ads are also going to have their sales attributed to other channels like search and email, ultimately meaning that these are far less incremental results. So your Facebook ad account can look good, but it comes at the expense of overall volume of transactions. And remember, blended CPA is total amount spent divided by the total amount of sales you get. I don't care if Facebook is a 5 or a 20. If you get more sales, your CPA is lower. If you get less, it's higher, regardless of what the platform has to say. So that leaves us with spending the money where we're getting the best results. And what really matters here isn't necessarily that we're spending the money on the ad that has the lowest CPA. What matters is that we're spending our money where the result is most consistent, and our blended CPA is ultimately good enough for us to spend more budget. If we have consistency, we can do some creative testing to reduce our CPA. We can improve the money we're spending on Google and the amount of emails we spend and the conversion rate of the people that land on our website to ultimately get a higher volume of sales, or just get people to spend more money when they shop with us. Either way, that margin between the blended CPA and the AOV goes up. The biggest liability to that being successful is launching a ton more ads, running bidding models, or running audiences, all of which make the entire funnel far less stable, far less improvable, and ultimately far more difficult to scale. So for those playing in the home game, what this leaves us with is one campaign targeting broad and using lowest cost with a few ads that are very stable and maybe one or two creative tests to improve the performance of those ads. And then we can spend the rest of our time improving our funnel to get people to convert more efficiently through all of our other marketing channels, or to get them to spend more money when they do buy, which ultimately gives us a higher margin per transaction by suppressing the CPA or lifting the AOV, which gives us more money to invest in the growth of our ad account so that we can scale by adding spend. So when it comes to scaling our ad account by adding budget, we need to make sure that first, our results are stable and projectable, and two, that blended CPA in relation to our AOV is good enough for us to invest in getting more people. So when it comes to scaling your budget, there are a lot of popular things. Some folks will use the old surfing technique where you just raise the budget all day until the ROAS breaks, which might give you one or two good days, but ultimately means your entire ad account fatigues, the entire thing blows up in smoke, and you have to start all over again tomorrow. Other folks will say, just bump it by 20, 50% every day until it breaks. But we don't want to have an ad account that breaks. We want to know that in 3 months, our worst day is better than anybody surfing or just spiking by 20% could ever have on their best day. And that's completely possible. So what we're going to do is ultimately look at our investment portfolio. And if it's good enough to increase our budget, let's do it by a little bit on a consistent basis. So what's the way we should be adding more budget? Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it stable. Let's keep it projectable in a way that is always profitable. Let's add 5% 3 times a week. And I hear you, that's not a lot, but 5% 3 times a week is twice as much every month. And twice as much every month is 37 times more by the end of the year. Would you like to be spending 37 times more every single day in a year? Or do you want to spend 5 times more today and have to start all over again tomorrow and never get past that? So now our job inside the Facebook ad account and running the rest of the business is to just say, can we increase the budget 5% today? And if the answer is yes, more often than it is no, you're going to double your business month over month for the foreseeable future. And it will stick. It won't fatigue, it won't break, and that makes making money a lot easier. Now, in this video, we're talking about a bunch of advanced stuff at a very surface level. If you want to know a lot more about it, you can go ahead and join the Facebook Ads MBA program. We got a community of people around the world, and this is just scratching the surface of a ton of extra things to help you scale your Facebook ad account, run your business better, earn more of your time back, and ultimately see more success and less stress. If you want to join the MBA program, there's a link in the description down below to give you some more advice, or you can go ahead and scan this QR code. Bam! So what if our costs are too high? What do we do? Well, there are really 3 things we can do. Number 1, we can do some creative testing to try to improve the ads that we have to get that CPA to be lower. The second thing we can do is improve what else is happening in the funnel so that ultimately our allowable Facebook CPA could be higher. If we've been spending more often than not for the last month or 2, have we increased our budget on paid search? What about Google Shopping? How are our emails doing? If we've doubled the budget on Facebook but haven't touched our Google search, that's the easiest place to go find more free money. And what ultimately that means is we don't need a 50 anymore. We can afford a 55 or a 60 on Facebook because Google has more sales. Our blended CPA gets lower because we're having more transactions occur from the money that we spend. And let's not forget CRO efforts and email marketing efforts, because ultimately all Facebook is doing is sending more people to our store. It's our store's job to get them to buy. Facebook ads don't make sales. They buy attention. Your business is about the monetization of that attention and hopefully turning that into future cash flow. Because those repeat buyers, well, they're super cheap. And again, your blended CPA is total transactions from total spend. If you get a whole bunch of transactions from people who've already bought from you before, they come in a lot cheaper, which means Facebook doesn't have to be nearly as efficient. So the third thing we can do here is, again, make our allowable Facebook CPA higher. And the way we do this is by improving the LTV or the second purchase rate or the AOV for our customers. Instead of having 5% of people buy a second time, what if we got 10? Instead of having our average order value be $65, what if we get it to 80? These things really matter. What if we can get the average person to go from buying 1.5 times to 2.5? The point here is anywhere we get transactions, either by increasing the volume of transactions, which reduces the CPA, or increasing the value of transactions, which improves the AOV, will allow us to have a greater margin to invest in the growth of our Facebook ads. Scaling efficiency allows us to scale volume, and both of those scale the bank. So this was a great overview of everything you need to know about how to scale your Facebook ad account for literally any business. And that's why I filmed an entire series of videos to help you deep dive into each of these topics. So go ahead and click the button on the screen right now to dive into it. Until next time, I'll see you on the internet. Bye.